We followed it all with a very great innovative exercise by the Prime Minister, where he talked about the Janta curfew with full cooperation and support from the 135 crore people of India. And then, of course, the bold decision India took under Prime Minister Modi's leadership to have a lockdown 1, lockdown 2, and now the lockdown 3. And at the end of all this proactive strategy, we can see that India is so well placed when we compare our progress on dealing with the COVID-19 virus, that we stand ahead of everyone else in the whole world. Our efforts are being lauded not only by India and our countrymen, but they are being lauded all across the world. We are being watched by the whole world. WHO is showering all sorts of praises to us in all related national and international forums. So, as far as we are concerned, I think we are very well placed in our fight against COVID-19 right now, and you see the parameters on the basis of which you judge you see success of the fight, and when you compare it with the rest of the world, I think they speak volumes about the success. We have the least mortality rate in the whole world. We have a doubling rate of 11-12 days. Over 30% of our patients have recovered. They have gone back home. It's a very good recovery rate of 30%. And then, of course, within this short span of 3 to 4 months, from one lab, we have expanded our capacity to almost over 450 labs in the country, with a daily capacity of 95,000 tests. If you look at our graph, it is quite steady. Moreover, you compare it with the in the month of May. Last 24 hours, we tested about 85,000 people in India in a single day. And just about a month back, 2 months back, when we started our testing, we were testing about 2,000 people in a day. So we have made sure that everybody who needs to be tested in the country, not only the ones who fall into the major guidelines as advocated by ICMR also, but right now we are proactively trying to search for cases of SARI and ILI, that's the severe acute respiratory illness and influenza-like illness cases in all our unaffected districts also. We are pushing it so hard, and the states are also responding so well. While we have asked for searching just a couple of few hundred cases, but we find that some of the states are doing testing of few thousand cases in some of these districts in unaffected areas. The good thing is they are all turning out to be negative by and large. And when you say the large number of cases, we just have about 55 to 60,000 cases in the country in last 3.5 months. Compare this number with the number of cases that these small countries have. Compare it with the population of other countries. We have a population of 135 crores, and after 3.5 months, where small countries in the world are having cases in lakhs, we are having cases in thousands. Our mortality rate continues to be the lowest in the whole world, just about 3%, as compared to a global mortality rate average of about 7.5%. The plans regarding testing capability, testing capacity, our labs and their ramping up, their expansion all over the country, that has been seen by the whole country and the whole world by now. This is just to inform our viewers through you that till a couple of years back, we used to send these swabs or samples to America for virology testings. And when we had encountered the coronavirus and we got this news first time in the month of January, we only had one lab in the whole country. That was the National Institute of Virology in Pune. And now when I talk to you in the second week of May, we have in the last 3-4 months from that one lab, we have expanded and augmented our facilities to 472 labs in the whole country, and it has almost 275 labs in the government sector. And right now, if you look at India's map, you will not find any corner of India where we don't have the testing facilities. I had said it a couple of weeks back that by 31st of May we would like to augment and ramp up this facility to be able to do 1 lakh tests per day. It is almost 95,000 capacity that we have developed. I said earlier also that yesterday itself we did some 85,000 odd tests, and this testing strategy is based on the advice of a group of experts which are guided by ICMR. There is a very clear policy, there is a very clear guideline and advice to everyone in the country about who needs to be tested. You see, actually there is no discrepancy, since the whole process is very dynamic process, starting from the tracing of the suspect patient to his or her testing, and then the report being generated in a laboratory which where the number is also more than 400 all over the country, and then those reports being transferred to the states, to the IDSP, to ICMR, and then ultimately all data from all sources are collated in the Health Ministry. So, being a dynamic activity, if you look at the various portals at a particular time, you may see different numbers. But ultimately, when we collate everything, there is no discrepancy, there is no difference, and it's all thoroughly transparent. Whole country is right now divided into 3 types of zones: red zone, orange zone and green zone. And in fact the red zone is the zone where we have these hotspots. So if I have to classify the whole country in terms of the districts, I would say that roughly 130 districts in the country are hotspot districts. Then we have 284 districts which are called as non-hotspot districts, and then over 300, something like 319 districts are called as unaffected districts. So obviously we are focusing not only on the hotspot districts, but we are focusing even on the unaffected districts. We are ensuring that they don't get affected in some way or the other. So within the hotspots there are different strategies depending upon whether it's a small cluster or a big cluster, whether it's a small outbreak or a large outbreak. There are containment strategies, there are containment zones, there are micro plans for those zones, and there are house-to-house surveys, there are local teams, there are rapid response teams, there are surveillance teams, there are the medical college people working in these hotspots, there are the central team of experts guiding the control program, control strategies in these hotspots. So the government is very clear about which places, which strategy, and how effectively you implement that strategy and monitor that strategy. I have to appreciate the states that they have been following the guidelines that we issue from time to time about how do they deal with COVID-19 outbreak in the country. They are doing it very sincerely, trying to do their utmost to do the things in the best possible manner. And I can add to this by saying that regularly we are monitoring. I am, as health minister of the country, talking to the health ministers regularly on the telephone. I have been doing video conferences with them almost every week. These days I am talking to these health ministers and their teams at the individual state levels almost every day. I have covered the major states of the country by now, and in the next week I'll finish once again all the states of the country. So I have a feeling that the response of the states and the health system in the country has been exemplary. We are trying to support them in all possible ways, whether it is through supplying PPEs or N95 masks or ventilators or medicines, or giving them expert advice about how do they ramp up their infrastructure. We have helped them in creation of new lab facilities all over the country. So and then of course lately in those difficult areas or where we have these hotspots, wherever needed, we are sending team of our central experts also, our surveillance people, our epidemiology people, our clinicians, and making sure that there is a good quality support to the systems in the country, and we are hand-holding in every possible way all the state government health systems. As far as the testing is concerned, we are already having a massive strategy for testing positives in the society. That's the RT-PCR testing facility. When this antibody testing facility was developed or was being advocated all over the world, we also thought of giving the benefit of this for surveillance and epidemiological purposes to our own community, and we tried to procure the kits at the fastest possible pace from the world wherever they were available, and we procured them. And when we found that they were ineffective, we immediately rejected their use for the society. But now the present situation is such that on one hand we are in the process of developing our own indigenous antibody test kits, and also the RT-PCR kits with the help of our scientists in biotechnology. Moreover, the latest is that our scientists in ICMR have also developed an ELISA test, which is going to be a big, you can say, substitute or supplement to the so-called antibody test, and it is also going to test the antibodies, and very soon the technology is going to be implemented because it has been transferred to a drug company, and we should soon be having these ELISA kits in the country, which will certainly help in strengthening our surveillance processes in the society. On its part, the Home Ministry has done enough good quality homework. They have devised very comprehensive guidelines how these students and how these migrant laborers and those in need to be transferred smoothly to their respective home districts or their home states. And of course it's a big challenge. It involves movement of a few lakh human beings from one state to the other. But I'm sure that if the states will follow the guidelines, though it will be a big strain on their system, already a system which is already overburdened with the health scenario, but certainly if we will act judiciously and with the perfect precision, the way we have been handling the coronavirus victims, I'm sure that we'll be able to take care of this challenge also quite effectively. In the initial stages, there was an issue about the shortage of PPEs because these were the things which were not manufactured in India. We used to even procure linen from China. But this whole COVID-19 episode has turned out to be a blessing in disguise for the Make in India movement. And right now when I talk to you, we have over 100 manufacturers in the country which are tested and certified by now, and today they are manufacturing over 3 lakh PPE kits in a day, and the situation is such that we are distributing all these PPE kits to the states every day, and there are many states in the country now where they say that we don't have the place to keep it, so wait for some time, and we don't really need them. So I don't think it's an issue at this particular time. During the initial phases of the COVID-19 crisis, I had called all these private doctors and the Association of the Private Hospitals and had appealed to them to help the government in handling the COVID-19 crisis. They had responded positively. Right now, a large number of hospitals in the country in the private sector are also part of our movement to create dedicated COVID hospitals, COVID health centers and COVID care centers in the country. And I would like to use this opportunity to specifically appeal to the doctors and the hospital owners in the private sector to basically appreciate that they too have a professional social responsibility in this moment of crisis, and it is their duty also to help patients in best possible manner. We often hear significant number of complaints also of patients being turned away from the private hospitals and patient being denied facilities that the government has tried to provide through the Ayushman Bharat scheme. So it would be in the fitness of things that private hospitals should also sincerely introspect their role at this moment and see what is the improvement that they can make and contribute to a successful COVID-19 fight. In the past, there had been so many other viruses which have come to this world. This is a new virus which came 4 months back, and amongst the many viruses, including the HIV also, one of the very dreaded virus at one time, there are only 2 viruses which have been eradicated from the whole world. In fact, smallpox and polio virus, which has been eradicated at least from the Southeast Asia region and a couple of other regions of the whole world. Rest of the viruses are there in the world. They come and go. They come and go in epidemic proportions. Sometimes they come and go in. They become endemic to certain areas. That's how the viruses behave. And right now, the endeavor of the government is to ensure that we are able to handle the present attack of the COVID-19, which has assumed huge proportions, not only in India but all across the world. And we have been able to save our patients from this big attack by the virus. And I am sure that if the people will appreciate that the COVID-19 virus has taught us a number of good things also for our future behavior in society, and if we continue with that behavior in a very positive manner, following social distancing, following hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene, using the masks in the society. All these habits ultimately will help us in strengthening our health of the society, of individuals, and it will help us in handling many more diseases in a more efficient manner.